here.
Instead of the brick building.
So the nice brick building. But they do have a nice sign here.
There's
Good cowboy on it. We are at the Cannonball Concreations. It is a mystery. These large round rocks don't look like everything else, and people wonder how in the world they got here. There's some hanging off the sides of walls. There's a little child sitting on one right now. And a couple above her. Looks sort of like mushrooms. The ball on top of a little stick-like thing. Mystery. They have some of them completely eroded out of the butte, while others remain exposed, still attached. So we're going to go hike and explore that a little bit. There is Susan on a Cannonball Concreation down at the foot of this amazing butte that has other cannonballs on it. Let me get far enough away. There we go. Prairie land that's out in between all these bushes that I'm walking through, and back there. Beautiful. Here is another Cannonball Concreation right at the trailhead at the foot of the butte. Here we go wander around the counterclockwise side of the butte. A little shelf there, about 15 feet up, and there's a series of future cannonballs wanting to burst out of there. And then Susan is in a little cave. Show me how you can go in the shade.
It's just sand. It's like hard sand. It's like hard mud. Nice.
And just around the bend is a pile of Cannonball Concreations. Oh man. And that looks like the top part did break off. You can see that row of rocks up there. Okay, I scuttled up a small butte. And Susan is down there. Wave, Susan.
Oh, the sun is right behind you.
Gotcha, sorry about that. And then this is that collection of Cannonball Concreations that were spewing about here. And there's that interesting collection. That looks almost man-made. And then up here again, the same thing. That layer has a distance to it. And it trails all the way over to there. There is Susan taking three-dimensional pictures. This is my cue to put a copy of the 3D picture in there so you can pause the video, cross your eyes, and see this in glorious 3D. We are at the Caprock Coulee trailhead. You can see it says, "You are here." And that green line is the nature trail, which you could go out and back for 1.6 miles round trip. Or you can do the whole trail, the loop, at 4.1 miles. We will make that decision when we get to that point. Buttes to the right, bigger, closer buttes to the left.
No, this is Bighorn Trail.
Oh, that's Bighorn that way. Yeah. And Caprock Coulee. Off we go. Just came out into a clearing where we are in a prairie-like valley surrounded by buttes. There's the nature trail. We are at point number 6. Sorry I haven't been narrating all the points, but we're at differential erosion observation. These thin layers of rust red rock in the butte here are iron impregnated sandstone. And they're harder than the soft gray sediments that make up the rest of the butte. They erode more slowly. They form into these shelves so that it protects the softer material that's down below them. All right, take a little water break.
Service for two?
Service for two. There's a little shelf for you.
Oh no, here. I want to do the selfie.
Selfie for this?
Yeah.
Okay. This is my cue to insert selfie into the video stream. We're at station number 7 on the trail where all these sagebrush bushes are. They're very common in the United States, especially on the Little Missouri River. And if you look closely at them, look closely, we see 3 different actual leaves.
On the same one?
Different species.
Different species.
Yeah, different species. Yep. On we go. Oh, before we go, where's those shelves? There's some caprocks that we noticed way up high that could hold many, many, many more water bottles than we had on the little one we were on just a minute ago. Okay, after about a 1/10 of a mile looking around, I think we found all 3 of them. This is the silver. Nope, that's not silver. This is the silver right there. Just like the picture here. And then this is the big, which has the little 3 fingers on it, like a Mickey Mouse glove, only 3. And then this one, the 3rd one, is called Saged, and it's surrounding that little big one. It's interesting, the sage is bigger than the big one. We are at number 8. And this is lignite coal. On the slope to the left is a thin black line. We think it's the one on the horizon up there. A thin black line of coal. It forms when vegetation is buried and subjected to great heat and pressure. Coal seams and other fossils tell us that this region was once lush with thickly vegetated swampland. We are at number 9. Bentonite is this gray material on the butte there. It can absorb a lot of water. So during rainfalls or melting snow, it tends to fall. And it's got a lot of little natural critters that walk across there. So you see those little lines?
Like big orange sheep trails.
They make little trails in the bentonite. Susan spotted a little cave there. She said, look, there's a cave. And I looked over here.
You were ahead of me.
I was ahead of her on the trail. And I said, yeah, I see it. There's a cave. Way down at the bottom of this butte off the trail is some prickly pear cactus. We have that in our backyard in Florida. They grow in clusters. They have beautiful yellow flowers that look like that. These are not flowering. Its leaves have been reduced to spines to help preserve moisture and protect the plant. To our right on the trail at stop number 11, there are pieces of petrified wood scattered all on this butte. They're kind of light in color. Petrified wood were trees a long, long time ago, and they fell and have collected minerals over time, and the minerals harden, which make them like rocks. So it looks like a tree, feels like a rock, and it's preserved for a long period of time. There's a cave up there too, I see, right there. Stop number 12 is another slump. We saw one of these on the scenic highway. The layers go diagonal instead of horizontal. And because when an earthquake happens, the whole rock tilts over, and you can kind of see where it should line up with the orange lines on this butte. But they don't, they're diagonal. There's a description here of the piping effect that you see at the bottom of these these buttes. Water seeps in to little holes that are made by rodents and such, and then they harden and make these pipe-looking formations. Next, I am walking around the corner of the bend here into a north-facing slope. We're in the middle of it, and it just looks like a forest because the north sides of the slope have lots of vegetation because they get less harsh sunshine. Animals and hikers alike, I'll speak for one, like it because it dropped to like 10 degrees in temperature. It's a hot sunny day, by the way. Here, notice Susan's in her tank top and capris. And we are surrounded by a lot of juniper trees. In fact, there's 3 kinds. There's the creeping juniper, the Rocky Mountain juniper, and then the common juniper. We came over that bridge, a little trickle of water is flowing down here, which makes us think this is the next station, even though it wasn't labeled. This number 16 is the active slump. A slump that has completely blocked the coulee, so it's blocked down to the bottom of that butte. The coulee is the valley part at the bottom. At this point in the trail, they tell us to look for some tracks of bison, mountain lions, deer, or coyote, because they're attracted to the water. And so we'll keep an eye out and let you know if we see any. Marker 20 teaches us about lichens, this green stuff that grows on the trunks of trees. It's actually two organisms, a fungi and a algae. They live in a symbiotic relationship. The algae collects food for the two of them, and the fungi collect water for the two of them. And on the way back, just more beautiful views that you see. We just got out of the north slope.
Yeah.
Where all the trees are. So we're back out in the open, so you can see buttes as far as the eye can see down the trail. Susan found another piece of petrified wood on our side of the coulee. So she went down to get some close-up photos of it. Since this trail is called Caprock Coulee, I need to show you another caprock there at the top. Looks like another little shelf on top of a couple piping formations. We are at the Riverbend Overlook. The Caprock Coulee Trail comes through here as well. It's the one that we would have done if we had not stopped at the nature trail end. We are coming upon the overlook. Well, there's my shadow on the tree, which you can see is in the foreground for a vast expanse. And there is the Missouri River, where it makes a bend, and thus the Riverbend Overlook. Where we are, it comes out on the other side over there. We always end up looking in the sun, so let's look this way. That's a little better. It is beautiful out there behind us. Okay, I'm going to be careful on the edge. Just a few miles from the end, we are at a place where you can see bentonite and bentonitic clay, the blue-black popcorn-like soil that caps the plateau 50 feet below where I'm standing now. It flows when it's wet. It's a bluish colored layer that can be traced for miles up and down the river. We are at the end of the scenic highway. Sparati Point is 1.7 miles that way, and Juniper Campground all the way on the east side of the site, 7.2 miles that way. We took the little trail that goes towards Juniper, Missouri, as we were looking at before, and I do see some people down there on a trail. Back in the trails. So it's in a better position for me to trace the river there. Comes in there, goes out of sight, shows up again over here, curves around. That was actually coming this way. Going over there and out. Hopefully you get it figured out.
There's the husband sitting on a rock.